How does a woman vanish in broad daylight? Right after telling her friend she was finally safe. A phone sits on a kitchen counter in Georgia, still recording. A chair is pulled back like someone stood up too fast. And outside, a car door closes. But no one sees who left. Sloane Mercer thought love had saved her. She didn't know it was the last mistake she would ever make. Sloane wasn't reckless. She was careful. The kind of person who double-checked locks and texted when she got home. After everything she had been through, she told people one thing: I'm done choosing the wrong person. Then she met Julian Pierce. First, nothing felt wrong. Julian was calm, patient, present. He showed up when he said he would. He listened. He stayed. To everyone watching, it looked stable. To Sloane, it felt like relief. Relationship, 4 months in. The morning she disappeared, Sloane called Jenna Whitlock. Not a long call, just a check-in. But something in her voice didn't sit right. She wasn't scared. She sounded tired, like someone who had been thinking too much and finally decided something. Last call, 10:18 a.m. Midway through the call, Sloane went quiet. Not disconnected, just silence. Then a shift. A chair scraping lightly across the floor. Jenna asked her, "Sloane, who's there?" No answer. Then the call ended. By evening, no one could reach her. Her phone? Left behind. Her bag? Still inside. Her car? Parked outside the house. Nothing looked forced. Nothing looked broken. Just one thing felt wrong. She had been in the middle of a sentence and never finished it. Detective Marcus Ellison was assigned the next morning. No signs of struggle. No witnesses. No clear reason to run. But one detail stood out immediately. Sloane had stopped sharing her location weeks before. 3 weeks earlier, Jenna told police something small. Something she almost didn't mention. The night before, Sloane had said, "I think I misunderstood something about him." She didn't explain. She just said she'd handle it in the morning. When detectives spoke to Julian Pierce, he didn't ask where Sloane was. He asked, "Did she tell you anything about leaving?" But Sloane wasn't the type to disappear. And the last person who saw her was already preparing an explanation. Main person of interest, Julian Pierce. Why did his timeline sound perfect? Until 1 minute went missing. A quiet Georgia street in daylight. Neighbors moving normally. Nothing disturbed. But inside one house, a timeline was already breaking apart. Sloane didn't just disappear. Someone had already decided how her story would be told. Detective Marcus Ellison didn't rush. He listened. Julian Pierce said Sloane was fine that morning. Said she was thinking about space. Said she asked to be alone. Everything sounded calm. Too calm. Statement given 9:40 a.m. Next day. Julian claimed he left the house at 10:15 a.m. But Sloane's call with Jenna ended after that. Which meant one thing. He was still there. When confronted, Julian didn't panic. He adjusted. Said maybe he lost track of time. Said maybe he left later than he thought. Small shift. But it changed everything. Timeline conflict. Jenna couldn't stop replaying the silence on that call. That moment when Sloane stopped speaking. Like she had just realized something. Or someone. Investigators checked the house again. Nothing broken. Nothing stolen. But one thing stood out. The chair near the counter wasn't just pulled back. It was angled toward the door. But one detail didn't add up. Julian said Sloane wanted space. But nothing in that house suggested she planned to leave. It looked like she stood up and never got the chance to decide anything at all. And then, a neighbor came forward. Not with what they saw, but with what they heard. Witness statement, pending. Why did the only witness wait? Until it was almost too late to speak. Midday sunlight across a quiet Georgia driveway. A neighbor pauses, remembering something that didn't feel right. Not a scream, not a crash, just a moment that stayed too long. Sloane didn't vanish silently. Someone heard something and chose to ignore it. 3 houses down, a woman named Carla Reeves finally spoke. She said around 10:20 a.m. She heard a voice. Not loud, not panicked, just strained. Witness statement, 10:20 a.m. Carla couldn't make out every word, but one sentence stayed with her. I didn't say you could do that. Then silence. No footsteps. No door slam. Just quiet. Too quickly. Carla assumed it was an argument. Closed her window. Moved on with her day. Now she couldn't stop thinking about it. That voice didn't sound angry. It sounded controlled. Like someone trying not to escalate something already wrong. Detective Marcus Ellison went back to Julian. Same question. Different angle. What happened after the call ended? Julian paused. Not long. But long enough. Response delay. Noted. He said nothing happened. But the timeline, the silence, the witness, they were starting to say something else. And then investigators uncovered something Sloane never mentioned to anyone. Not her friend. Not her family. Something she had been keeping to herself. 3 days earlier. Why was Sloane's own diary the key? And yet so many pages were missing. A quiet bedroom in Georgia. Sunlight slices across an open notebook. Half the pages torn, the words she wrote left incomplete. Sloane had tried to warn someone, but the missing pages left only questions and no answers. Detective Marcus Ellison found the diary on her desk. Entries were normal at first: school, friends, small victories. Then, a sudden change. Entries about Julian, her fear, and things he didn't want me to tell anyone. 3 days before disappearance. The pages after that? Torn. Missing. No sign of a struggle. No sign of forced removal. Someone knew exactly what to erase. Jenna Whitlock read the remaining lines. Sloane had written, I think I can't trust him anymore, but I don't know what will happen if I leave. Her handwriting trembled. Fear buried in ink. Detective Ellison cross-checked the torn pages with the house. No fingerprints except Sloane's. No evidence of anyone entering except Julian. Julian Pierce. Someone had removed Sloane's words. But why? Was it to protect her? Or to hide what Julian did? And then the investigators noticed a small detail on the floor. Paperclip. Out of place. A clue she had never mentioned. But one detail didn't add up. Why did Julian's calm alibi suddenly start to crack? Over a single forgotten message. Detective Marcus Ellison stared at Julian's phone. A timestamp text blinked on the screen. It didn't match the story he'd told investigators. Sloane's last attempt to reach help had been ignored, and someone knew exactly when. The message came from Sloane herself. Please, I need space. I just want to be safe. Sent at 10:22 a.m., the exact minute she disappeared. Last message, 10:22 a.m. Julian claimed he didn't see the text, but his phone showed it had been unlocked. The timeline didn't lie. Jenna Whitlock replayed the call in her head. Sloane's tone wasn't scared. It was desperate, like she knew something she couldn't escape. Detective Ellison traced her movements using neighbors' surveillance. No signs of her leaving voluntarily, but the footage revealed a shadow near the driveway. Security footage, 10:23 a.m. The shadow wasn't just anyone. It moved with purpose, and it disappeared before anyone could approach. Sloane Mercer's choices were clear, but the person who controlled the next move was already steps ahead. Who was watching her? Why did the one place Sloane trusted most become the last place she was seen alive? A small Georgia cafe. Sloane sat alone at a corner table, coffee untouched. Julian arrived, smiling, calm, like nothing was wrong. Sloane thought she could escape him, but the danger was closer than anyone realized. Witnesses saw them talk quietly. No raised voices. No visible struggle. But one detail stood out. Sloane's hands trembled. She clutched her purse as if it held the only thing keeping her safe. Cafe meeting, 11:05 a.m. Julian left the cafe first. Sloane stayed behind for 2 minutes. Then she vanished. No one saw her leave. No car parked nearby. No call made. Jenna later recalled Sloane mentioning she'd meet someone to talk. She didn't say who. She didn't say why. Only that she trusted this meeting. and it turned out to be her last. Detective Marcus Ellison reviewed nearby cameras. Blurry footage showed a figure approaching Sloane. Tall, controlled, moving with purpose. Potential suspect, unknown. Sloane's choices were rational, but rational didn't save her. Someone had predicted every step, and the trap was already set. By the time anyone realized something was wrong, she was already gone. Where did she go? How could someone so careful be taken so completely? A quiet Georgia backyard. Sloane Mercer's life ended under the shade of an oak tree. Evidence finally pointed to the truth, and the person no one fully suspected. Sloane had trusted Julian Pierce, and that trust cost her everything. Detective Marcus Ellison found her remains days later, hidden behind a neighbor's shed. Clues from her torn diary and the security footage finally connected. Julian Pierce was arrested. All lies unraveled. The timeline, the texts, the silence. It all made sense. Justice served, Julian Pierce arrested. Friends and family gathered to honor Sloane. Jenna Whitlock read her last diary entry aloud, shaking. "I thought love could save me. I was wrong. But I hope someone remembers." Sloane's story is a reminder. Danger can hide behind calm words and familiar faces. Her memory became a warning, and justice was finally served. Subscribe to the Veil of Secret for more stories like Sloane's.